Watchmen on the wall, lend me your ears and open your hearts, for we are living in an hour where the veil between the physical and the spiritual is wearing thin. What we see today across our television screens and digital feeds is not merely a sequence of political maneuvers or a clash of earthly empires. It is the stirring of ancient spirits. It is the rattling of bones in the valley of decision. In these final days, the world has stood paralyzed, watching a staggering, unprecedented escalation of hostility between the United States of America and the nation of Iran. Since the closing days of February, the fires of war have been kindled like never before. We have seen military strikes from the US and Israel reaching deep into the heart of Persian territory, strikes so surgical and so profound that they resulted in the unimaginable, the death of the supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. Imagine the vacuum, the sudden silence of a voice that ruled with an iron fist for decades. Without its shepherd, the Iranian regime has not scattered in fear. Instead, it has lashed out with a wounded, desperate fury. We see the skies filled with the streaks of missiles, retaliatory strikes raining down upon American bases and the strategic strongholds of Israel. We see smoke rising from the horizon, the shattering of glass, and the crumbling of stone. But amidst the destruction, the protests, and the sight of statues being torn from their pedestals, we must ask the question that the world is too blind to ask. Where does this war truly come from? What are its roots in the celestial realm? And more importantly, where is it taking us? Is this just another chapter in the bloody book of human history? Or is it the definitive signal that something massive, something truly eternal, is standing at the very door? To understand the present, we must look back at the seeds that were sown in the soil of rebellion. The conflict between these nations is not a modern invention. It is a bitter, ancient fruit. It was during the Islamic Revolution of 1979 that the bridge was burned and the chasm was fixed. Iran turned its back on the West, branding the United States as the Great Satan and Israel as the Little Satan. For nearly half a century, this animosity has simmered, but since the dawn of 2026, the heat has reached a boiling point. But look closely, the fire is burning from within as well. The Iranian government is trapped between an external war and an internal uprising. Since 2026, the streets of Tehran and beyond have been filled with the cries of a people exhausted by economic ruin and the systematic stripping of their God-given rights. It is a house divided, and as the scripture tells us, a house divided against itself cannot stand. But for the believer, for the student of the word, what is happening in the Middle East is far more than a geopolitical chess match. That region is the epicenter of the divine narrative. It is the stage upon which the prophets of old stood and wept. It is the ground where the blood of the righteous was spilled and where the feet of the Messiah walked. Every war and every rumor of war in that sacred geography carries a spiritual weight that the secular mind cannot comprehend. Consider the shocking event that took place on February 11, 2026. As the Iranian regime celebrated the anniversary of their revolution, they did something that sent a shiver down the spine of the faithful. They did not just burn a flag, they burned an effigy of Baal. Now, think about the symbolism here. This statue was not a simple idol. It was adorned with the Star of David and the likeness of Donald Trump. As the flames licked the sky, the air was filled with the rhythmic chanting of death to Israel. But why Baal? Why would they choose a deity from the ancient Canaanite world? In the Holy Bible, Baal is not just a piece of history. He is the ultimate archetype of spiritual corruption. He is the false god who demanded the sacrifice of children, the one who stood in direct opposition to the prophets of the Most High. When the Iranians set fire to Baal, they were performing a dark ritual, a theatrical declaration that they are engaged in a holy war against what they perceive as the ultimate evil. To them, Baal is a metaphor for the West, a symbol of what they believe is a decadent, demonic influence. But to the Christian, the sight of Baal in flames is a chilling reminder of the spiritual powers and principalities that govern the darkness of this world. It is a sign that we are no longer fighting with flesh and blood, but against the rulers of the darkness of this age. Many religious scholars and watchful pastors are looking at the fall of this idol and the death of the Iranian leader as markers on a prophetic timeline. They see these events as the birth pangs that Jesus spoke of. We are hearing the words of Donald Trump echoing through the halls of power, saying, "The big wave hasn't even hit yet." The big wave is coming soon. What is this big wave? Is it a wave of war, or is it the wave of divine judgment? The tension is so thick it can be felt in the spirit. We are seeing a parallel to the narratives of purification found in the ancient texts. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, verses 30 and 31, we read about the appearing of the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. We read about the mourning of the tribes of the earth and the gathering of the elect from the four winds. Jesus, standing upon the Mount of Olives, looked across the valley and warned his disciples about exactly what we are seeing today: wars, rumors of wars, the rising of nation against nation, and the emergence of false prophets who would lead many astray. We must also turn our gaze to the book of Revelation, the final revelation of Jesus Christ to his servant John. We see the imagery of the seven seals being broken, the seven trumpets sounding their alarms, and the rise of the beasts from the sea and the earth. We are warned about the Antichrist, a figure described in 1 John 2 verse 18 and throughout the prophetic books as a leader of immense global influence. He will not arrive with horns and a pitchfork. He will arrive as a man of peace, a man with the solutions to the very crises we are witnessing now. He will be the one to step into the chaos of the Middle East and offer a covenant, a way out of the fire, only to reveal his true nature as the one who denies the Father and the Son. When we piece together the fragments of today's news, the destruction of symbols, the death of kings, the burning of Baal, and the cries for war, the picture becomes undeniably clear. We are approaching the climax of the human story. Look at the world around you. The instability is not a glitch in the system. It is the system breaking down to make way for a new kingdom. The wars we see are not just about oil or land or nuclear capabilities. They are about the soul of humanity. They are about the final confrontation between the kingdom of light and the kingdom of darkness. Every time a base is bombed, every time a statue is toppled, the clock of eternity ticks 1 second closer to midnight. We are told to watch and pray, for we do not know the hour of his return, but we are commanded to know the season. And brothers and sisters, look at the trees. The leaves are turning. The season is upon us. The death of Ali Khamenei has left a void that will be filled. But by whom? Will it be a radical successor who pushes the world into a global conflagration? Or will it be the opening that the man of sin needs to broker a false peace? The Bible tells us that when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them. We are watching the stage being set. The actors are taking their places. The lights are dimming on the age of grace, and the curtain is about to rise on the Great Tribulation. This is not a time for fear, but it is a time for a sober mind. It is a time to trim our lamps and ensure we have oil in our vessels. The struggle between the United States and Iran is a mirror of a much larger struggle. It is the great Satan versus the resistance. But in the eyes of heaven, it is the shaking of the nations so that what cannot be shaken may remain. The burning of the Baal statue in the streets of Iran is a profound irony. A nation that claims to serve God is using the imagery of an ancient demon to curse their enemies, while they themselves are caught in the grip of a spiritual blindness. It reminds us that without the light of the gospel, all nations are wandering in the dark, stumbling over the same stones of pride and idolatry. So I ask you today, as you watch these events unfold, what do you see? Do you see only the movement of troops and the fluctuation of markets? Or do you see the hand of God moving the pieces of history into their final positions? Is this the history of men repeating its failures? Or is it the prophecy of God reaching its fulfillment? We are standing at the threshold of a new era. The war between the eagle and the lion, between the West and the East, is but a prelude. The big wave that is coming is not just a wave of conflict, but a wave of glory that will cover the earth as the waters cover the sea. Whatever your creed, whatever your background, you cannot deny that the world is changing at a pace that is almost impossible to follow. The headlines of 2026 are reading like the chapters of a book written 2,000 years ago. The convergence of technology, global unrest, and Middle Eastern upheaval is a mathematical and spiritual impossibility to ignore. The dispute between the United States and Iran is not just starting. It is accelerating toward a point of no return. We are the generation that sees these things. We are the ones who must decide where we stand before the great and terrible day of the Lord. Do not be lulled into sleep by the comforts of the world. Do not let the distractions of the age blind you to the reality of the Spirit. The statues are falling, the leaders are dying, and the nations are roaring like the sea. This is the moment to look up, for our redemption draws nigh. The story of the United States, Iran, and Israel is being written in the stars and in the scriptures. It is a story of judgment, yes, but it is also a story of hope for those who know the end of the book. The king is not just coming, he is at the door. Every missile strike is a knock. Every fallen idol is a proclamation. The era of man is drawing to a close, and the era of the Messiah is about to begin. What is your response to the signs? Will you mock like the scoffers of old, or will you prepare your heart for the encounter of a lifetime? The war is here, the signs are clear, and the choice is yours. Look to the east, watch the horizon, and keep your faith anchored in the rock that cannot be moved. For the world as we know it is passing away, but the word of the Lord endures forever. As the shadows lengthen over the desert sands, and the smoke of battle rises into the atmosphere, remember that the darkness is but a backdrop for the coming light. Stay watchful, stay prayerful, and stay ready. The greatest chapter in human history is about to be written, and you are here to witness it.